back here in Florham Park with the head coach of the New York Jets entering year number 2. It is great to see you, Robert Saleh. How are you?
I'm great. Pleasure, and thank you for having me on.
How was practice out there today ahead of the big green-white scrimmage tomorrow?
It was good. A few skirmishes. It was a little hot out today, but it was good. It was very productive.
I know offensive coaches always say, hey, look, we don't want the fights, but defensive coaches there's like a little bit of a grin when you say the skirmishes, right? So you got a little.
Yeah, we have one rule: no punches.
Okay.
You know, the skirmishes happen, the shoving, the pushing, the jostling, and all that stuff, but just don't punch, and we're good.
Okay, so Will Smith is allowed, but no close fists. Gotcha. Listen, not only the skirmishes, but you guys had some takeaways. There were quite a few interceptions. I know you're pleased when your defense is taking the football away.
Yeah, it's you know, I learned it from Kyle. I mean, you're kind of stuck as a head coach. You can't cheer too much because it's the other side of the ball, right? But thought the defense came out on fire. They were very opportunistic, got 3 interceptions, and but the offense finished strong in that move the ball period with that explosive run. But it was a good back and forth competitive practice.
How important are those turnovers and I guess in hand those sacks as well? Because you can look at the defensive numbers. I know they were not where you wanted them to be in year number 1, but that turnover stat, the sack stat, they really stood out. That has to be a point of emphasis this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's every year with turnovers. It's the one stat in football that forever has held true to wins and losses. And if you can take the ball away and protect it, you're going to win football games. And if you can't, you're going to lose football games. It's just that has been forever in this league. Sacks, people can argue. I look at it as more pressure. Are you putting pressure on the quarterback? Because you can have a guy who gets a couple of sacks, but are you constantly making that quarterback feel pressure? And so there's a million ways to look at that category, but turnovers for sure, forever in the history of football, it's never changed. That is a big indicator on wins and losses.
Well, one of the ways you guys are going to apply pressure is with Carl Lawson coming back, right? And he brings a lot of intensity, and then also Jermaine Johnson, who you guys were fortunate enough to go back into the first round and get. What do those two guys bring into this front?
Carl brings a professional mindset. He's an absolute grinder out there. He works his absolute tail off. Jermaine, he's got all the movement, the fluidity, trying to learn how to bring some power to his game, and so really excited for him to get some opportunities against other opponents now that he's gotten to see our guys since OTAs. But they're both. I mean, they've got tremendous work ethic, tremendous mindset, and really excited for them to get a chance to get to the regular season and play.
I know putting the pads on changes everything up front with the O-line and the D-line. Has putting the pads on changed anything with Ahmad Gardner?
We'll see, because they're still kind of just in thud, and I know that he's going to come out and he's going to tackle and he's going to do things. It's just one of those things that you just got to go prove it, right? Prove it to yourself, prove it to your teammates. But he has got a mindset and a chip on his shoulder, and I've never seen a rookie talk so much trash. But it's good.
Is it good trash? Is he good at it? Because some guys talk trash, but they're not good at it.
Right? No, he's good at it. He's good. He's talking to the O-line. He's an interesting young man, but love where he's at mentally. And again, he obviously still has a long way to go, you know, in terms of understanding the game and all that stuff. But he's a sponge and he's taking it all in, and just really happy with the entire secondary and the direction that it's gone.
I'm putting you on the spot. Can you give us Sauce Gardner's best line? Does he have one so far?
Keep it PG.
Yeah, no, he's got a bunch of them. He'll eventually have one, I think.
Do you call him Sauce?
Get him up.
No.
What do you call him?
AG.
AG. Okay, all right. We're getting all kinds of names.
Let's talk about ZW,
Yep.
your quarterback here, heading into year number 2. People say he knows the offense a little bit better. He, too, has a little more swagger, maybe not Sauce swagger, but obviously the light goes on for a lot of quarterbacks in the second year. And Zach down the stretch last year, cut the turnovers down. He was a productive quarterback. What do you, Robert Saleh, see different specifically from Zach Wilson this camp?
You know, I think a lot of the things that we see are what other people can't see, right? His meeting room demeanor is a lot better. His questions are a lot better. His understanding of the offense is a lot better. His command in the huddle, the way he communicates the play from coordinator to giving it to the huddle is a lot smoother. His cadence has got some bass into it. So there's a lot of little things that are a lot better. His release, getting rid of the ball has gotten faster. His footwork and pocket presence is better. So there's a lot of little things that are a lot better than a year ago. But at the same time, it's nowhere near where we know he wants to get to. It's nowhere near where we want him to get to. But it's a heck of a lot better than it was a year ago. And so he recognizes that he still has a long way to go. But we also recognize that he's much improved.
certainly a lot of pressure on Zach, but really a lot of pressure on the guys up front to not only keep him upright, but to impact this offense in the running game. What can you tell us about Mekhi Becton as he kind of works his way back into playing shape, as well as George Fant and some of the other new additions?
Yeah, Mekhi's been working his tail off. You know, he came back from a pretty gruesome knee injury. You know, he stayed after minicamp. He stayed throughout the entire summer. He's come out here, and it's been a grind for him. You know, he's a big man. It gets hot. There's been videos of him just letting it all out.
Oh boy.
And
It happens.
But every single time he steps up, he gets back in practice, and then he finishes. And I just love where he's at mentally and the grind that he's been putting on, and appreciative, because it's easy to tap out. You know, it is in this day and age, it is easy to tap out, and no one's going to say a word to you. And to his credit, he's grinding and he's pushing through, and he's finding a way to callous himself to get himself ready for the season.
On a personal level, where are you mentally year 2? Like, how is year 2 different, maybe more comfortable for you this time around?
You know, and your first year as a head coach, especially in this market, you're kind of, I don't want to say overwhelmed, but you're bombarded with administrative duties, PR, media, all the different things that had no rhyme or reason for why you were chosen for that spot in the first place. Because we get here, you think, because of football and having good players around you and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden you're kind of dealing with a million different departments and all the different things. And so just being able to learn how to balance all that stuff so I can get back to football and help where I can help, and has been the most easing part of this offseason and my development.
What do you want your 2022 Jets team to be? What do you want their identity to be?
You know what? It's we talk about our style of play. We talk about effort, technique, and violence. We want to punch people in the mouth. We want to take you into the fourth quarter and take you to a dark place that you're not willing to go to, and that's just our mindset. And you develop it out here, and you strain and you grind, and when you think you haven't done enough, you've got about 60% more, and it's just a mindset to access that 60%, and like I said, do things that people aren't willing to do.
But you also keep it fun as well. We don't have the video, but you have the rookies like Mitchell and Clemens doing a free throw contest. You put a basketball hoop in the auditorium for this?
Yeah, I got to give credit to Coach Carroll on that one, you know, in just terms of keeping it light. And, you know, we settle the score on all our competitions in there. If it's a tie, I got to see what third down was today. That was our team comp today. And if it was a tie, we'll take to the hoop, and offense versus defense, get a couple of rookies doing it. And it breaks it up, keeps it fun, but at the same time, there's a measure of accountability that takes place in those rooms. And but if you can't have fun, then you're in for a long season.
You also see some team building as well. Mitchell is an O-lineman, the rookie. He got George Fant to rebound for him. Best basketball player on the team.
That's smart.
Yeah, you build a team. You're picking sides.
You can box out.
It's good planning.
Yeah.
It's smart offensive line play as well. Robert Saleh, second year, head coach of the New York Jets. We appreciate some of your time today.
No, thank
Good
you
luck,
so
sir.
much. Really appreciate it.
As we continue.